Can you imagine one day food would become as rare as a unicorn? Here, we got to survive by luck. The darkness lit up by fire is like an uninvited guest. Fanny woke up again, this time landing on the 41st floor. Fanny carefully observed. The folks upstairs said they follow the rules, like adhering to food hygiene, but there are newcomers on the 70th floor. Let's see what surprises await there. Fanny turned ice-cold, asking her roommate if it's their first time, and shockingly, she wished for plums. She informed her roommate she'd only eat plums from now on, giving an unusually intense look. Today's food arrived as predicted, but there's barely anything left in the platform. The folks upstairs mentioned some newbies weren't following the rules while her roommate kept staring at her plum wish. Fanny told him fresh plums would arrive tomorrow, that someone was going to sort out the folks upstairs. Suddenly news came from below that someone on the 54th floor killed them. This person must have been stuck on the second floor, and with no one able to go up, she feasted while others starved to death. The roommate recognized her and got killed. The folks below said they were going to deal with this person tomorrow, and Fanny warned her roommate. The last swap killed Fanny's roommate. The next day, as the platform descended, Fanny's roommate suddenly sat up, initiating the process of disassembling the bed. Then she pulled out the whip to threaten Fanny. Clearly, these two shared the same ambitions and pursuits. So, they formed an alliance, recruiting folks below to continue the descent, aiming to keep the info chain unbroken. They sent a person from each floor to intimidate the other. 5 folks confidently descended, but underestimated the wildman's strength. Several attempts to attack were fruitless. But a ferocious tiger can't beat a pack of wolves. The wildman was finally cornered and seized the chance to jump down. The one-armed girl jumped down for revenge too, but her opponent promptly knocked her down. The folks below came to help restrain the wildman, but were quickly taken down by the white-bearded man, who pleaded with Fanny to spare him, insisting he just wanted to survive. Fanny was stuck as the platform descended. The white-bearded man escaped, while the one-armed girl roared in discontent. Ultimately, Fanny stopped her, and she recounted her ordeal, emphasizing a friend witnessed others. Another friend was cruelly taken away. The one-armed girl said she's been going around in circles here. Her arm was chopped off. The woman told Fanny if she wanted to escape, she could hide before each swap. They'd release anesthetic gas. That's why people felt nothing during the swaps, but during the next swap, there was actually someone tied up upstairs. Upon seeing this, the two got ready to fight. When the platform hit the ground, a dozen folks poured down, crowding the space. These people formed a faction, having heard of their heroic deeds yesterday, rewarding them with food and drink, while rule breakers would be punished. They needed folks like Fanny to guard the peace of the hungry platform, and just as the platform descended, suddenly, a few were restrained. The blindfolded man stated they released a bad person yesterday, and as punishment, each would lose it. To showcase his rules, the masked man removed his blindfold, revealing that both his eyes had been punished and hollowed out. They were bound to the platform, waiting. As the platform descended, their arms would be broken, and the one-armed roommate was tied to the platform, reassigned to the lower level. After what felt like an eternity, Fanny entered this cycle again, assigned to the 72nd floor this time. Her roommate brought a knife, and as the platform descended, she shamelessly peeked out while Fanny stood there, knife in hand, looking mighty fierce. Folks upstairs warned them they'd face punishment. Fanny, oh so clever, promptly tucked the knife away. She declared her intention to overthrow the masked man's regime, citing how they abused power, forcing everyone to obey nonsensical rules, which ultimately Fanny's arm got twisted off during the last swap by these folks. Evidently, anyone who's been around a few times knows what the masked man is like. Many were eager to join Fanny, yet some stayed by the masked man, believing loyalty would help them survive, perhaps even finding shelter. Fanny and her crew were labeled as barbarians. As the number of people boarding the platform increased, the commotion grew increasingly intense, until it reached its peak and the platform was jam-packed. They huddled on this floor. Folks spent the night crafting weapons. Doesn't seem quite chipper. Until the next day, the peaceful ambience was shattered by the sudden noise as numerous food trays began to rain down from above. Everyone looked up to see. Way above, the mass organization was rapidly destroying the food. They left 2 people on each floor, eating their fill before destroying all the food, making sure every level had someone while starving the folks below. Consequently, the stragglers only ended up with an empty platform. The masked man was on the floor above them. He stated every day there'd be no food left on the platform. Before each swap, everyone would come down. By then they'd be well prepared. It would be the perfect time to eliminate these rebels down below. People began to taunt the masked man, daring him to come down and punish them. He replied it wasn't too late to regret that he'd only punished the leaders. As soon as that was said, a third of them bailed, and numbers dwindled. However, at that very moment, unexpectedly, the top unloader showed up, causing everyone to burst into laughter. Therefore, everyone patiently waited, only eating when absolutely famished. Everyone was holding strong. They were just waiting for the moment of reckoning to arrive. Finally, the day had come, with everyone eagerly brandishing weapons below. Yet what descended from the platform were layers of beds. Hundreds grappled in the cramped space. Such close-quarter combat isn't rare on the hungry platform. Everyone gave it their all while the unloader ducked and weaved amidst the crowd. Many were blinded by rage. Soon enough this floor became a bloodbath, until 5 minutes later the platform began its slow descent. The victor was Fanny, having annihilated the masked man's organization. She walked slowly towards him, the expression on her face now gone.